So I did a lot of research online and I was trying to find a replacement for these, which is a OEM battery terminal for Chrysler. This came off a 2015 Chrysler 200S, and there's a lot of different options you can go with. You have the one right here that looks kind of like the OEM, but it has a bolt on it. Then of course you can go what you see everyone else going with, but on our cars it's kind of difficult. Or something like this, which is what I went with. And you can even add a little bit of distribution block to throw all your powers in and run one out to the battery. So here's how I did it. I also replaced the battery and the alternator. But so the OEM for the ground, I had to cut the bracket off and bolt it to this one. They made a jumper over. So there's my ground, and I just put it under the terminal so I can still fit a regular terminal on there and bolt my ground for my alternator. And on the power, it's a little almost finished, but as of right now, here's what I got. So there's originally 3 wires coming in, or 2. And you can see the 2 back there. Let me get that to focus. All right, you can see the 2 wires. One's going to the fuse box, and I believe one's going to the alternator, maybe, or the starter. And I basically bolted those 2 to the original plate, which would have been these 2 right here. I just took this out, and there was a hole. And I just combined the 2 and made a jumper and jumped into the battery. I mean, there isn't too many options for these cars with these OEM terminals. They're kind of a pain in the ass. They never stay tight, and they always loosen up, fall off, and that was the issue I was having. So I replaced the battery and upgraded my alternator with a smaller belt. And yeah, so this is just what I did. Maybe it'll help you decide on what you want to do for the terminals, but there isn't. Replacing with an OEM terminal is going to cost you a lot of money. These are probably the closest to it because they look still like it with a bolt, so you know it's going to stay tight. But at the same time, I mean, how I did it, buying post like this, going down and putting it under, it ain't going to come up. Same thing on this side, and it still gives me the option to add whatever I want, and I can still put the distribution block on there and jump to this. So I'll run my wires in here and add it to here if I decide to go that route. So that's how I changed the OEM terminals on a 2015 Chrysler 200. And as far as the alternator, I was going to post a video of me doing it. I just ran into some complications with the brakes because I also did rotors, hubs, and pads front and back. But the alternator, it's really not that hard. If you want to give it a shot, I recommend it. I wouldn't pay anybody to do it. The hardest part was putting the belt back on, but there's just 3 bolts. There's 2 here, 2 on the bottom. You got to remove your AC compressor, which is right down there. That helps you get the other bolt out, and that's basically it. It's pretty simple. It probably took me 2 hours to do the alternator, and yeah, that's basically it. So I don't know. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll give you any information that I had, and hopefully this right here will help. All right, see ya.